Okay, the mirror story, you guys. You actually did donate after I joked about it, so okay. The year is... I don't remember what year it is. I'm 19 years old, and I'm in university. And I meet someone, and we hit it off, and so we go on a date. And so we go and see a film, and at the time, I can't remember what we saw, but it was I think we had a nice time. So we go on a date, we see a film, it's quite nice. And then after the film, it's quite cold and windy, and I noticed that she was cold, so I was like, oh, do you want my hoodie? And I gave her my hoodie. And so I stoically braved the cold wind. In the actual fact, I was just, I'm from North Europe, so I'm used to the cold, and she wasn't. And so she, I guess, was like, oh, that's very kind of you, thank you. Very dashing, yes, just a gallant knight, that was me. And I guess, she had a nice time, and she was like, would you like to come around for some tea? I'm gonna point something out for you guys, that you may think things based on that statement. I was 19, and this was like the first time I had really gone on, I think this was maybe my first time dealing with romance or dating. And so I said, oh, okay, that sounds nice. Yeah, sure. I'd love to come around and have a cup of tea. Quite literally thinking that is what she meant. So, we get in her car and we go back to her place. And I'm thinking, oh, it's nice. It's a very nice time. It's a very, very nice time. And we're just socializing. And then she, we get to her place and, she introduces me to her cat. She shows me around. And I'm having a nice time with her. And then we sit down at the counter and we have tea. And I'm thinking, yay, we're having tea. Except there's one problem with the tea. All she has is herbal tea. And I don't like herbal tea. I don't like herbal tea. I don't like green tea. I don't like anything like that. I just like regular dark black tea. So she makes tea for both of us. And I'm like, I have an Irish upbringing. If someone offers you tea, you say yes. If someone offers you a cup of tea, you say yes. And you drink it, and you drink all of it. So I said, oh, yes, please. And so we sit down and we have this cup of tea, and I start sipping it, and I'm going, oh, this tastes awful. I hate this. But I'm being polite, and I don't want to be rude. So I'm like, yes, this tea is great. Thank you. And I'm like baby sipping it. I'm like taking the tiniest sips of tea. And she is, we're socializing, and I have frozen. I was given this herbal tea, and I hate it. I hate this herbal tea. It tastes ass. It's not yummy, but I have Irish heritage. I mean, not Irish heritage. I'm from Ireland. If someone offers you a cup of tea, you take it and you drink it, and you say thank you, and then you eventually leave the house. You leave the place eventually because you are being polite. Anyway, so we're talking, and just to put this out there, I'm 19 years old. Like the first time I'm dealing with dating, and I don't pick up on any of the cues. I don't pick up on what she is putting down. She is being, dare I say it, flirty, forward. She's wanting to get to know me better. She's giving me the looks. And I'm just being polite and enjoying her company because I'm completely inexperienced and I'm not picking up what she's putting down. Because I'm just focusing on trying to drink this tea that this cup of tea that I fucking hate the taste of. I'm just trying to focus on getting through it. Because, I was raised to drink tea. So we progress further, and she starts, maybe being a bit more forward, touchy-feely. And I'm just, I'm not really reciprocating because I'm too naive and too inexperienced and too awkward to know what she means. I'm just being polite, and I'm just focusing on the tea. So sometimes when we're talking and facing each other, I would just turn away from her to drink the tea. This is painful, it hurts. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse. So at that point, I think she realizes that I'm a bit stupid. I think she realizes that I'm a bit stupid and inexperienced. So this was back when I was still quite fit, because I was still in my athletics age. And so I was quite fit and active and strong. And so I'm in good shape, and she had commented on that before in the date. And so she gestures over to her mirror that she has leaning against the wall in the living room, and she says, "Oh, Clio, could you do me a favor? I noticed how strong you are. Would you be able to carry my mirror that I bought up to my room? It's too heavy for me." And I say, "Oh, sure. Yeah, that's no problem. I'll go get the mirror. Don't worry." And so we leave the cups of tea there, and she had finished hers by that point. She had finished her cup of tea. I hadn't finished mine. That's important for later. And so I go and pick up the mirror, and I say, "Oh, okay, so where am I taking this?" And she's like, "Oh, just upstairs." So she points to the stairs, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll pick it up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy." And I carry the mirror up, and so she follows me up the stairs into her bedroom, because it was like a studio apartment basically, I think. So I carry up the mirror to her bedroom, and I get into the room, and I'm like, "Oh, where do you want me to put it?" And then she gestures for it to be like in the corner, and I'm like, "Okay." And I put the mirror in the corner, and then I turn around, and she's sitting on the bed. And I didn't realize what she meant when she was sitting on the bed. And then she gestures on the bed as well. She's like next to her. She like taps the bed. And stupid naive Clio, who is always raised to always finish a cup of tea, is maybe too naive to realize what she's trying to imply. So I say, "Oh, I haven't finished my tea yet." And I point to the door, and then I start walking out. So I go downstairs by myself, and I go back to drinking the cup of tea that I really hate, and it tastes horrible because, you know, I was raised to always finish a cup of tea. So I'm downstairs for like 5 minutes by myself, not realizing like she hadn't come down, and I was just nursing this cup of tea because, you know, I didn't want to leave it. That's rude. It's rude to leave a cup of tea undrunk. So I was trying to make sure I drank the tea. And eventually I hear movement from upstairs, and she comes down the stairs. And this is where it gets really bad. She comes downstairs in how do I say this? Evening wear, negligee. And silly little Clio is like, "Oh wow, that looks great on you." But I haven't finished my tea yet, so I focus on the tea instead of her. And so she's, at this point, I think, clearly annoyed at how dense I am. Clearly annoyed at how dense I am. And so she sits down next to me, and she's being very forward, very forward. And I'm just like not focusing on it because I'm just trying to drink the cup of tea. And also at this point, it was like, I think this was like, at that point, it was like, 11 or 12. And so I'm aware that the final bus or public transport home is soon. And I'm like, "Oh man, I have to finish this tea because I gotta get home. I need to go home." So I try and finish the tea. And eventually, I think I finished it. And she's visibly getting just like kind of mad at me. She's like kind of getting angry at me. And I don't pick up on any of these social cues at all because I'm completely naive. It's like the first ever date that I'd ever gone on, or like one of the first dates, and I wasn't used to any sort of romance or romantic interactions. And so I think I finished the tea, and then I turned to her while she's in her lingerie, and I said, "I had a really nice time, thank you for the tea, but I need to go now." And so she's like, "Oh, okay, I can drop you off at the bus stop if you want." And so I say, "Oh, thank you, that would be really nice, thank you." And so she doesn't get changed. So she's in her nightgown, nightwear, and it's very nice, I will say. It's very nice, you know, quite, if I dare I say, sexy. And we get into a car, and we drive to the nearest bus stop. And I said, "Oh, thank you. I had a really nice time. Thank you for the cup of tea." Because when she offered a cup of tea, I assumed that's what she meant. We were going to have a cup of tea, and then I would go home. And she just kind of sighs to herself, and she's eventually realizes, "You're really dense, aren't you?" And I said, "Huh?" And then she pounced on me. And then that's where the story ends. Because I'm not saying anything else. So there's your mirror story. There's maybe the most embarrassing story that I've ever had in my life. Yeah, so sometimes, guys, women are flirting with you. You just need to be aware. You just need to pick up on maybe the subtleties, or maybe the not so subtle things. She was basically hitting me with a sledgehammer of, hey, I would like to do things in the bedroom, and I was just very dumb and young and didn't realize anything because I was young and naive and I hadn't experienced romance.
Please subscribe to Nyan Talk Clips. Please like my mommy. Thank you.